Hello and welcome back to the Therapy by Craft YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. This is my little corner of the internet where I like to talk yarny things. I usually say it's mostly knitting and mostly socks, but that has turned out to be a lie for the last several episodes. So I'm not going to say that today because today it is also not mostly knitting, nor is it mostly socks. Today it is mostly crochet yet again. And even though I do have some knitting, including Sam's knitting that I want to share with you guys later, I do have a lot of crochet to talk to you guys about. And I'm quite excited because some of it is an update from last time when I was really struggling with making certain squares or whatever. And you guys have been amazing at sending tips my way and just, I don't know, being excited with me on my newfound love for crochet. So, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Therapy by Craft. I am most active on Instagram, and I have been trying to make sure that my Ravelry page is up to date, but with the little things that I've been crocheting, it's been a little difficult, I have to say. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll get to that. We'll talk about that. Yes. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with some finished objects. And actually, I'm going to organize my episode for today with crochet and knitting. Like, I'm going to just do that separately. I don't have any finished knitting projects. So we'll start with crochet, and then we'll work our way to knitting. And if either of those are interesting to you, or if like one of them is not, I'll go ahead and do chapters for this video so that you can hop around and skip spots and whatever. You can just navigate this video however you want to. But yes, we're gonna start with crochet. And I have two finished crochet blankets to share with you guys. It's actually the same blanket, but knit in two different yarns. But the first one is, ta-da! It is my Rainbow Ripple Baby Blanket by Celeste Young. I don't know if I can scoot back some more so you guys can see that. Yay! Oh my gosh, isn't it so like fall-y? Autumnal? That's the word. Fall-y. It is it is crocheted out of a deep stash acrylic yarn. It's a worsted weight 100% acrylic yarn that I pulled out of stash several months ago and was working on it. And I put it away. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I put it into hibernation, but I did. I didn't want to work on it anymore, and so I put it away. But recently, since I've been on this like crochet kick, I pulled it out again, really to actually free up some WIP storage space. And I only had like 5 rounds left to go, and so I just did it, and I am so happy with it. This is really a great pattern. Again, it's by Celeste Young. It's free on Ravelry. Oh, what's happening over here? Oh, excuse me. I used 5mm clover hook. It's an H hook. And I think I did I write down how many rounds I did? I think I did like 28 rounds or something like that. I don't know. But it totaled to 412 grams. I started it on November 28th of 2024, and I finished it March 16th, 2025. And I'm just going to keep it as like a potential gift, like a gift make. I don't know who this is going to, but I hope whoever receives it loves it. It is a great lap blanket size. Someone was telling me that a circle blanket or blankets that are round are really great for using at the office because you can lay it over your lap without it getting caught in your rolly chair. And I have found that to be 100% accurate. So right now I'm on a rolly chair and I have it draped over my lap and it's perfect. It covers my legs without it like, dragging on the floor. I also really like circle blankets because if you don't know how much yarn you have, you can still make a blanket to however big the yarn will last you for. Now, I did have to supplement this yarn with another yarn because, so this black, like this darker charcoal gray is not a part of this colorway, but I ran out like towards the end of the circle, right? Like it takes up more yarn and it was more important to me to use up all of this acrylic yarn than it was for me to, I guess, like have the last color of this blanket be all in one color. So I used up all of the yarn that I had for this and then I picked up, I think it's like a Patton's Croy, and I held it double with itself. I am mixing like superwash wool with an acrylic, but because the care instructions are similar, I think it'll be fine. I always tell people when I gift them handmade things to machine wash cold and tumble dry low or lay flat to dry. Like that's usually what I tell them anyway. So that's what I'm going to tell them for this. And that's the same care instructions for the acrylic and the Patton's Croy. So, yeah, I really like that about circle blankets. Okay. I liked this so much, in fact, that after I bound this off, I may have gone back to Joann's, but this time with Samantha in tow. And I did that on purpose because I was curious if she would want one. She actually saw this blanket and thought it was really pretty. She wanted one for herself. And I told her, no, this is not for you. But she did ask if she can have a blanket for herself also. She is reading and she likes to read, like sit on her little chair and like read in the mornings. I see her like reading out loud. And so I actually asked her if she wanted a reading shawl, but she said no. She said, maybe after I have one of these blankets. And I said, all right, that's cool. That's fine. And so we went to Joann's and at the Joann's near my place, a lot of their yarns are out of stock. However, their Lion brand mandala, the Lion brand mandala is still plentiful in the aisle. Like there's a whole wall of them. And so I took her there to see if she wanted to, pick out another self-patterning, self-striping yarn. And her joy upon seeing the cakes and cakes of colorful acrylic yarn was something I wish I could have recorded. She screamed. She actually screamed, "Oh my God!" Like she was just so thrilled to see all of the beautiful like cakes of yarn. And it took a minute for her to settle on which one she really, really wanted. But she decided to go with the colorway called Rainbow Falls. So this is the yarn. It's the Lion brand mandala. It is categorized as a category 3 yarn, which I think is like a DK weight yarn. Each cake comes with 150 grams and 590 yards or 540 meters of yarn. She picked this colorway, which is called Rainbow Falls. And I picked up 2 of them to make her blanket. And this is what her blanket looks like. I'm going to have to stand up for this one for sure. Ta-da! This is very large. This is much larger than the other blanket, even though this one is only 329 grams. So it's almost 100 grams less than the other blanket, but the other blanket is a worsted weight yarn and this one is a DK. And this is how big it got. I was so shocked in like a pleasantly surprised kind of a way. Yeah, I started this March 18th. That was actually the day that we went to Joann's. And then afterwards, she was like, can you start it right now? Can you start it today? Can you finish it by tomorrow? And I'm like, girl, you gotta chill out. No, yes, I can start it today, but no, it's not going to be done by tomorrow. But I did finish it, what is it, 5 days later, right? March 23rd. Yeah, so very close, very, very close. Now, I did have to do some yarn management because I did want, like, the two cakes didn't end and then start at the same spot. So I did have to cut some colors out and, I don't know, like join them in, but that was not a problem. This one, I did care more about ending the blanket with the same color all the way around. So I have this much left of the blue. And then for this too, I also kind of mixed bases, mixed content, because this outside, oh my gosh, my chair's like so squeaky, but that's what that is. The outside yarn that I used for this pink color is the Filcolana Arwetta, which was gifted to me by my friend Samantha in color number 313, which I think is also called Bubblegum. It's not written as that on the label, but when I looked up the color 313, apparently it's called Bubblegum. And I think it's so appropriately named because it does. It looks like bubblegum. If I were to name it, that's what I would name it. But anyway, I have a story about why this bubblegum pink is added to this blanket. So, gosh, when was this? This was many months ago, many months ago. But Sam ran into my room one morning and said, I don't have any pants. And I was baffled by that statement because I know without a shadow of a doubt that she has many pants. So I walked with her to her room and said, what are you talking about? Like in your drawer here, there are at least 5 pairs of pants that I see. And she said, no, they're all like gray and brown and black. And I don't like those pants because those are ugly colors. Excuse me. Like I love those colors. I was like, why are they, what do you mean they're ugly colors? Why are they ugly colors? And she said, oh, it's because it's not in the rainbow. If the color's not in the rainbow, then it's an ugly color. Now, if I were a grown-up, I would have just said, oh, okay, I can see where you're coming from. And I would have explained to her, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not a grown-up, apparently. Apparently, I'm still very petty in my heart. And I looked at her dead in the eyes and I told my 5-year-old, well, pink isn't in the rainbow. She loves pink. And I could see her little eyes like, I don't know, her brain was exploding right before my eyes. And she was like, no, pink is in the rainbow. And she could tell, I knew that she knew that I had gotten her because she is a very smart little lady and she knows that pink is not in the rainbow. But from that day forth, she has just declared, no, pink is in the rainbow. And she'll laugh at me and, it's our little inside joke now. And now whenever she draws a rainbow or she colors something rainbow, she always adds pink. And she shows it to me and says, Amma, see, look, pink is in the rainbow. And I say, haha, you're right, pink is in the rainbow. And, it was kind of fun and in jest. And, yeah, like she's so fun that way. I love that I can like mess with her and joke with her like that and she'll get it. Like her feelings weren't hurt. If her feelings were hurt and if I could tell that her feelings were hurt, I would have apologized immediately. But I can be a little snarky and sassy with her and she'll throw it right back in my face. So that's the kind of relationship that we have. But because of that, when I was making her rainbow blanket, I knew I needed to add pink. I was going to add pink into this rainbow in honor of, her love for pink and that little story with her and I and our little inside joke. And so when I revealed the blanket to her, because since this is the very last color that I did, she didn't know that I was going to be adding pink to this blanket. But when she finally saw the blanket and its finished entirety, she was like, oh, you added pink. Amma, why did you do that? And I said, well, because pink is in the rainbow. And she got so excited and she was like laughing with me. And actually, I had laid this blanket out on my bed right here. And she came into the room and she like jumped on the bed to like look at it. And she actually fell off the bed out of her excitement. She was looking at it and she like, wah! And she tumbled backwards off the bed. And we had a really good laugh. But all that to say, like, that's how excited she was about this blanket. I was so happy to make this for her. I seriously don't have another, like, I don't have someone as no, she is the most knit-worthy person in my life right now. Like, her joy the little 5-year-old joy is, it just brings me so much happiness. So anyway, that is my second Rainbow Ripple baby blanket that I finished since the last time I recorded. I am tempted to name this blanket Pink is in the Rainbow blanket. So my Rainbow Ripple baby blanket. Now, this is maybe my third or fourth Rainbow Ripple blanket that I've made, and I want to just make a note to everybody that this is a 3-row repeat crochet blanket. It's 2 rounds of increases and 1 round of no increases at all. I did not know that for one of the baby blankets that I made a long time ago. And I just increased every single round. And it just turned into a very, very, very ripply baby blanket. And it was ugly. It was just awful. And I had gotten so far, I had done so many rounds of increases that I literally had to frog pretty much the entire blanket before in order to remedy that situation. Like, I just didn't read the instructions. This is another one of those patterns where it's all written out. Like, the whole thing is just written out in words. And I really struggle visually with patterns like that, where there's no breaks in the pattern or there's no like highlights or anything to like visually pop out at me. And so I didn't read it carefully, or my eyes just sort of glazed over and I just thought every round was an increase round. So just in case you guys grab the pattern and are looking at it, because it's free, I feel okay letting you know. Pay attention, because it maybe like go in and highlight where it says to do what she's calling like a small shell, where you don't do 2 double crochets, chain 2 double crochets. You do 1 double crochet, 2 chains, and then a double crochet, US terms. So anyway, that's that. I actually got another, I got 2 more cakes of the mandala yarn. This is the ombre, and this is, I think, a worsted weight yarn. Yeah, this is categorized as a 4, but I think the colors are so pretty, and I think this is another one of those that I'm going to just work up and set aside as a gift for later. But yeah, those are my finished blankets. Oy. Okay, next is, I wanted to share some coasters that I made. I have, again, an update on the linen stitch squares that I shared with you last time, but Allie of the Turtle Trunk, yes, Allie of the Turtle Trunk released a new coaster pattern this past week, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I needed to make it right away. So that day I came home from work and I just started cranking them out. And I made 4 Loopy Coasters. Now I'll do it one by one. So this one is the first one that I made. Here we go. That's the front. That's the back. This is the only one where I snipped all of my ends. So I wove them in and snipped it. I also have like a low contrast one. My ends are woven in, but I didn't cut them off yet. And then I have this one. And then this one. Cute, right? So mine are not a square. Mine's a little bit more rectangular, but that's fine. For these, I also used a 5mm hook. This is like the same one I've been just using. This is basically the hook I've been using for all of my crochet projects. I like the gauge that brought me. I think her pattern, it's free on her blog, or you can purchase like an ad-free PDF. I just looked at her blog, and she calls for a 4mm hook, but when I tried it with the 4mm hook, it was hurting my hands and the yarn wasn't flowing as well as I wanted it to. So I ended up using a 5mm hook instead, and I like the feel of that. I also like the size that it got me. I'm using worsted weight yarn. The yarn that she calls for is Dishy, and that's a bit of a softer, drapier yarn, and yeah, so this is what I'm using. And I think it's cute. It's cute. It's really cute. Each one for me takes up about 15 grams of yarn total. She has both like a 2-colored version as well as like a solid colored version. And for each, I think she said it's about 15 grams. She actually has the meterage on her blog, but I don't remember off the top of my head what that is. But yeah, it's cute. And I think I'm going to gift these as well. I probably will wash them. I'll throw them in the washer and dryer just so that it can, I don't know, shrink and then again absorb the condensation from your drinks a little bit better. I really like how the cotton, this is sugar and cream, by the way. I really like how it softens up after I throw them in the washer and the dryer. And that's actually how I've been keeping track of what's been washed and what hasn't. I can tell now by the feel of it, but initially I just wanted a way to quickly visually scan my my crocheted things to know what needs to be thrown in the wash and what doesn't. And what I have, like what my system is right now is, yes, I will weave in all of my ends, but I won't cut them until they've come out of the dryer, then I will snip them. So these ones here, I know have been washed and dried because I have like cut all of my ends and my tails are done. This I have not, because even though I've woven in my ends, I haven't cut them. And you can see how, I don't know if this is the best way to show it, but you can see how it shrinks a little bit after it's been washed and dried. That is not the best one to show it with. Let me try a different one. Here we go. Okay. It's a different color. So yeah, you can see how the cotton will shrink after a good wash and dry. It'll shrink about maybe, what is that, like 1/2 inch or so? But it's still a good size. I've been using mine around the house and I've been liking it. It does absorb water so much better. Yes. So that's been great. But where was I? Oh yes. So these will also go in the wash and the dryer. Okay. So those are those. Now let's talk about my linen stitch situation. So last time I shared with you guys this square. I am thinking about using my Lily Sugar and Cream to make a blanket, and I think I am going to make a blanket. I like how it feels. I like the weight of it, especially after washing them. It softens up, and I think it'll be a nice blanket. And I have decided I don't like this. I don't like it. If there was no other way, then I would have just dealt with it. That would have been fine. But I did more research. People also sent me a lot of links, and thank you to everyone who did, because I was able to kind of test some things out and really land on a pattern or a method of doing the linen stitch in a square that I really like. I like the look of it and all that. So I am going to frog this and redo this square, but I wanted to kind of show you guys a reminder of what it looked like before. The first test that I did was using a tutorial by someone that I cannot remember off the top of my head. I tried to look up her blog again before recording this episode, but I couldn't find it. So sorry about that. But she had a method of doing the linen square in the round, like in a circle, like a spiral. So I tried that method out here, but I don't know if you can tell, but the center sort of, you really can't tell actually. The center kind of bubbles up, and I don't like that. Let me cover my face so you can you tell that there's like a little, no, it doesn't want to, it doesn't want to focus, but it bubbles up. It like looks like a little, it's like raised a little bit in the center because it doesn't, each round isn't closed off to make a perfect square. It just goes around in a spiral. And so the bigger and bigger it gets, I guess it kind of flattens out a bit, but I didn't love it. I liked it better than this, but it was not my preference. What I also didn't like about this is that because it's a spiral, there is a clear right side and a wrong side. So this is the right side and this is the wrong side. And the feel is different, the texture is different. And also it makes the corners a little wonky as well. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. It almost looked picoed at the corners instead of it being like a clean corner like this. These corners just don't look as nice. The camera is not doing a very good job of showing what I'm talking about, but trust me, I didn't love it that much. And then Peggy, who I don't know her Instagram handle, but I know she watches this YouTube channel. So Peggy, hi, and thank you. She sent me through my Instagram DMs a tutorial by the Crafty Kitty. I will link her tutorial down below because that's the one that I am going to use. She has a way where you can both have like turn your work and work both the right and the wrong side. So basically you have a reversible square. It also evens it out. I mean, that's true for granny squares too. Anytime you're working a square or something like in the round, I prefer it if I can turn my work because I just think it lays flat better. I think it doesn't, the spiraling thing doesn't make the shape wonky. I just prefer that, especially if it's a square. If it's a circle, it doesn't really matter all that much. But a square, yeah, I want those corners to look nice and tidy. So she has a method of doing that. And it was brilliant. It was just a really brilliant method of doing a linen square without having that seam, that unsightly seam right in the middle of the square. Without further ado, let me show you what it looks like. Ta-da! Can't even really tell where the seam is, huh? Let me show you in a different color. It is so much nicer. It is so much prettier this way. And I have made, how many is this? Let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, I have made 15 little coasters ever since I discovered that tutorial or tried that tutorial out. It took a while because I was trying different things. But these are so cute and I really like them a lot. I love that each square takes 12 grams and 12 minutes to make. Oh, it doesn't want to, there we go. 12 grams and 12 minutes to make. So quick, so pretty. It's so cute. And I'm using some springy colors because we have a employee recognition event coming up later this week. And I don't know, I never make things for my staff, but I kind of want to. I always have the desire, but not really the time. And I haven't found a project that I think is cute and fair for everyone. But everyone can use a coaster, and it's our theme this quarter is like a spring garden or whatever. So like, welcome to our garden party or whatever. And we're providing food and all that. And so I'm hoping that it'll be really cute and I can give a coaster to everybody is really what I'm hoping. Yeah, so I don't need to make that many more. And like I said, it only takes 12 minutes to make one. So I'm very happy and pleased about that. And once I'm done with these squares, I'm also going to continue making my dishcloth packets, or packets, I don't know about packets, but my little dishcloths to put into a set of 3. Last time when I showed you guys the dishcloths I had made, I think most of them were just solid colors, I think. I don't know. Was it? I don't know. But I started mixing and matching some of my yarns together, and I'm liking the result. They're so fun. So that's one. This is another one. And you know, that's the thing about linen stitch that I really appreciate. This is like a self-patterning / like self-striping yarn, right? But because of the way that the stitch is constructed, it looks like it's woven. And it's so cute. I like that. And so then there's no real pooling. I mean, there's the potential for pooling maybe, but it breaks it up with yeah, I think it like breaks it up with the chains and the single crochets. So I really like the effect that linen stitch has, or moss stitch has, for crocheted items. And then here's another one. I found, by the way, that it is better to not do half and half. So when I have like a 2-colored dishcloth, I had made a couple that was half and half, but then when I tried to fold it as a gift, it wasn't looking cute because the color would change like right at where I folded it. So right now I think I do 34 rows, and so I'll do like 20 and 14. That's what I decided is my favorite way of breaking it up, because otherwise it's not very cute when I like fold it together. So yeah, I just think it's cuter this way because then you can see the 2 tones when you fold it up. You know what I mean? Like, it's much cuter this way. Okay, that's a side note. Okay, last thing that I want to share regarding crochet is another Scrappy blanket that I haven't shared with you guys in a really, really long time. But because I have been in this crochet kick and I just, like, that is all I want to be doing right now is crochet, I thought that I would share with you an update on my Scrappy crochet granny square blanket that I'm holding in this very sophisticated, very high-end project bag, aka like a Dollar Tree Easter basket. Here's what it looks like, and then I'll tell you the part that I want to like share with you. Okay. Ugh. Here is where it's at so far. Ah. Ta-da. I am using scraps to make a 5-round granny square using, so I've been like carrying it around in my dusty Yarn Co. Is this a Notions pouch? Audrey, is this a Notions pouch? What is this? I don't know, but it's a really good size for some of my Scrappy projects. But I am using, what is this? Oh yeah, I'm using a 4mm clover hook to make 5-round granny squares. And I'm just doing the join, the continuous join as you go, or the continuous join in the round method to join them together. Right now it's, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 8 by 10 right now. And I have it woven in my ends. So good luck to future Eunice, but you know, I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. It is fingering weight. I'm holding it single. Each square takes about 3 to 4 grams, so not that much at all. And I have like a good stack of squares. But the reason I wanted to share this with you is because, have you guys crocheted with self-striping yarn before? It's kind of cute. It's kind of fun. Look. It's what it looks like. Ooh, come on now. There we go. Isn't that cute? I really like it. It's so funky and like, I don't know, kitschy? Is that the word? I don't know what the word is, but it's fun. It's cute. And I think it's adorable. And I like that I can see the different colors. Like, no, it's not in the striping order. No, it's not like clean or whatever, but you can still see the colors. So in my Cozy Memories blanket or in my DK knitted blankets, when I hold the self-striping yarn together with itself, it's marled in, right? The colors are marled in. If I hold it with a neutral color or an undyed color, it's still marled with a different color. So then it changes the overall look and feel of that colorway. And so I don't really get to have those colors of that self-striping yarn in the same kind of way. I mean, I guess I could start a new knitted blanket that's like a fingering weight blanket, but I don't feel like starting a new blanket at the moment. I have enough. I'm already starting this linen stitch one, so I don't really need to start another knitted blanket. But I do like that I can crochet it into this blanket. In this one, because it's like a continuous join as you go or whatever, I can make it as big as I want it to be. And I love having like solid colors in here, variegated colors in here. I don't care about color placement. I just put it in, grouped into whatever I feel like. And I appreciate the impact that has on the blanket, because that means I can look at a section of the blanket and remember, oh yeah, this happened, blah, blah, blah. Or here, for example, this is, these are all of my, where is it? Yeah, this is all of my full moon fiber yarn that I got during the solar eclipse. And so that's fun to have in here. I also have other collections like the McMullen Fiber Co. watercolor collection, like the Impressionist collection is right here. And so I don't know, I like that. I don't care that it's all clustered in one area of the blanket. I actually think that makes it for a really fun memory blanket. For the main color, I'm using Cascade Heritage in the Macadamia colorway. It's just a really nice neutral, and I think it brings cohesion to the blanket, which I like. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you all because I don't know if I've seen a lot of folks crochet with self-striping yarn before. And for those of you sock knitters who also crochet, this is an option for us. We can crochet with it, you guys. Isn't that exciting? I know it's exciting for me. I'm very excited about it. So I'm about to bust out all of my self-striping yarn scraps that I have and make a bunch of squares. And this is all from one colorway. This is the, I think it's the Strawberry Patch colorway from Freckled Whimsy. And I couldn't get all 6 colors in one square, so I made a second square. And I love, 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 love that, because what is that? Like, that ended up being less than 10 grams of yarn, or maybe less than 8 grams of yarn. And I got all of the colors to like be together, and I can like put them together in the blanket. Oh, it's so cute. So that's my plan. That's my plan. I had this in hibernation for the longest time, but now that spring is here and lightweight blankets are in order, I want to work on this again. And since my Crojo is back, ew, is that a gross word? Crojo? My crochet mojo, my crochet fever, the crochet bug has gotten to me. I don't know, however it is that you want to say it. Since it's here, I would like to add more squares to that blanket and see how big I can get it and use my self-sharpening yarns. Right now I'm holding a lot of like little scraps in this bag where it's less than 10 grams. Like it's not enough yarn to put a square into my cozy memories. So I'm gonna be making some squares. Yay! That's all of my crochet, I think. So we will switch gears now and talk about knitting. I do have a couple of socks on the go. I have some sock whips, even though they're not being worked on very much because I just want to crochet all the things. And I don't have a deadline for these. Not really. I mean, kind of, but not really. So the first one is being held in my knitter bag, Van Gogh bag, which is such a beautiful bag, isn't it? I love this bag. I have this one and the Kiss. This is Starry Night and I have the Kiss, and I love those bags so much. But this is holding my Yarnable, my March Yarnable. It is a monthly subscription that I just subscribed to. It is a 80-20 base. No, it's not. It's an 85-15 base. The colorway is called Wings of Renewal. It's on her plush sock base. And it's a really nice base. It's a very buttery base. I like it a lot. This is what the colorway is. In the hank, it looked like two tones. It was like two different colors. Wound up into a ball that looks like this, and then worked up, it looks like this. I am using US 1 2.25 millimeter ChowGoo 32-inch red lace needles to work my socks in magic loop. I like to cake my cake. I like to split my cake into two so that I can work my socks in tandem. And I am making the Second Breakfast Socks by Lindsay of Sock Witchery. This is where I am on the other sock. So that two-tonedness of the skein is working up into like these wide spirals. And even though I'm not a fan of pooling in my projects, I can tolerate this. This is fine. I can do this. So that's where I'm at with those. Again, it's pretty slow going. I'm doing this as a birthday gift for someone though. So I know earlier I'm like, oh, I don't have a deadline. I don't, because I mean, I think it's fine. I'm not even going to be able to see this person on their birthday anyway, so it doesn't even matter. But I still want to be able to gift them to her around her birthday. That would be nice. And her birthday is in April, like early April. So that's going to be for a friend. And for her socks, I'm doing 72 stitches. Okay. The next pair of socks that I have going are just a plain white pair of socks, and it has a very cute story. So I am holding that in my Songbird project bag by Katie. It's so soft. It's like such a soft bag. I have been eyeballing her bags for a very, very long time, and she has some cute quilted ones coming out soon, which I'm so upset about because Katie, I can't afford to buy every single one of your bags, girl, but I want to. But it's okay. It's okay. I have enough bags. It's totally fine. And I'm very, very, very happy with the ones that I got. I got this one, which is the small size, the small zippered bag, and then I have a tall zippered one. And I like her zippered bags because you can fold them. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing, but you can fold them down like this and it'll stand so that your yarn doesn't get snagged in the teeth of the zipper. So to me, that's really important because I don't like there being snags in my yarn. Okay. But in here, I have a kid's sock going. So I didn't split the cake this time. Kids socks usually go pretty quickly. So I have, I don't know what yarn this is. This is yarn that was sent to me by Hannah of Hannah G Knits. She sent it part of the Galentine's or like a Valentine's countdown gift that she gave to me. But so the story, why I'm making plain white socks is, I got a text from a mom of one of Sam's classmates. So this kid, he's the sweetest little kid, and his mom texted me to tell me that he came home really sad one day because he saw Sam's like birthday dress that has like her name embroidered in the front, right? And he really wanted like a shirt like that, like a white shirt with brown string is what he said to her. And he wants like a sweater or like a t-shirt that's white with brown string on it that says his name, and not in like cursive, but like in print. Like that's what he wanted. And he, I guess, talked to Sam about it or something. I don't know. And apparently Sam told him like, oh, no. I don't think Sam told him this, but he just sort of figured, since I've only made things for Sam and one of Sam's classmates, I made a little pair of socks. And he was like, oh, well, Sam's mom only makes things for girls. Sam's mom doesn't make things for boys. And I'm like, excuse me, what? But he told his mom that, and so she reached out to me and said, hey, is there any way that I can pay you to make him a shirt, like a white shirt with brown, lettering for his name? And he also would really, really like a pair of white socks, just plain white socks. Like, is there any way that I could pay you to do that? And I was honest with her. I said, I actually don't make garments. Like, I don't make t-shirts or anything for anyone except for Sam. Like, I don't even make it for myself. But if you want to give to me a plain white cotton shirt, and if what he wants is just embroidery, like his name embroidered in the front, I'm happy to do that for you. You don't have to pay me for that. And if he wants white socks, like, I can make him a pair of white socks, like no problem at all. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, he wants them so bad. And he was so sad because he thought that you only knit things for girls. And I had to tell him, like, no, honey, it's not that she makes things only for girls. It's that she has one child and that child happens to be a girl. Like, that's really all it is. And I was like, yeah, I'm like happy to make something for you. And I just think that was so sweet. Like, the fact that he was sad about it, like there's emotion behind his desire for this pair of socks. And so I was like, girl, I got you. He's like the sweetest kid. So I was thinking, I was looking through my yarn to see if I had any white yarn, and I actually don't. All of my sock yarn are neutral, but they're not really white. They're like off-white, or I don't know, like the macadamia that I showed you that I'm using for my blanket, my undyed, they still have like a little bit of yellow or a cream tint to it. And this boy wanted white socks. So I'm like, I'm gonna give him white socks. So I was really close to going out and purchasing white sock yarn, but then I remember that Hannah gifted me white sock yarn. And so I think it feels like it could be Knit Pick Stroll. It's working up very similarly to that. The experience of working with this yarn is feeling like Knit Pick Stroll. So I think that might be what it is, but I have plenty of yarn to make him a pair of white socks. So I am using the recipe that I use for Sam's socks, which is 56 stitches. I do 10 rounds of 2x2 at the top for the cuff. Then I do 30 rounds for the leg. I'm going to do a heel flap and turn, and the gusset plus the foot, I'm actually going to do 55 rounds. I usually do 50 rounds for Sam's socks, but he wears a size bigger than Sam does, so I'm going to do 55 rounds instead before decreasing for the toe. And I really hope he loves it. I think that the texture or like the feel of knitted socks is different. I mean, I don't think it is different from socks that you normally get from the store. So I'm thinking about telling her like, hey, if he really likes it and in the future, you know, if you find that he's gravitating towards these knitted socks and you don't know where to get them, like let me know, and you can commission some socks from me. I don't know that I would offer to them like, yeah, I can continue making socks for you indefinitely because yes, he's a sweetheart, and yes, I know this family, but we're not like that close to where I think that we will continue to be in touch with each other after the kids are in different schools. So I don't want to like make an offer that I can't commit to. So yeah, but anyway, that's what's being held in that bag. And then the last thing I want to talk to you guys about or share with you before ending this episode is Sam's knitting and my knitting. It's kind of like blended together. So I was recently struck by, I was like awestruck by this one account called me_and_Simone. I think that's her handle. But she does, I think she's a recent transplant to like Sweden or Switzerland. I don't know. She like recently moved to a different country. But she is an artist. Like, yes, she knits and she is a knitter, yes, but I would categorize what it is that she's doing as art. Like, she's just an artist. And she does a lot of like log cabin sweaters and stuff. And when I saw her work, her Instagram page, I immediately wanted to cast on and do something similar. I wanted to test something out to see if I could make maybe Sam's 6th birthday dress in that kind of a style. But before jumping in with my fingering weight yarns, I wanted to try it out with some of my DK and worsted weight scraps. So this looks a little cray-cray, but this is how far I'm at with Sam's log cabin square. I think this is so much fun. It's just so fun and funky, and I think it'll be perfect for Samantha. I think she would just totally love it. I mean, I have a sweater, like a big sweater of hers that I'm using as like a template, and I'm like holding it to it just to get rough measurements. And I'm thinking that maybe I can like turn it into a sweater, or if I really like it a lot, then maybe that can be what I use to make her birthday dress this summer. But as I was making that, I want to show you the first little like garter thing that Sam made ever. This is her little knitted square. It's so cute. I love it so much. I don't even remember when she made this, but like, isn't it like the cutest little thing? It's so cute. I die. I'm so proud of her. But I recently posted on my Instagram like earlier of her knitting, and I got a couple of questions from other moms who knit about how, like, what needles do I use? Like, how did I get her to knit? And et cetera, et cetera. And so I thought I would share with you some of that information. The yarn that Sam is using is just, this is like a project bag that I got a long time ago from Amazon, and it's not great. Don't do that. Don't be like Eunice. Don't buy dumb project bags from Amazon. But anyway, this is a Katya yarn. It's like a chain construction, and it's a little bit fuzzy, but it's cute and it's pretty, and Sam wanted to work with it. And I said, sure, go ahead. So it's a thicker yarn, and she is using 6mm or US 10 needles that look like this. And I think these are from Lion Brand. They have it at like Michael's. Yeah, and it's great that they're different colors, because when I sat with her to start instructing her on how to, like, what needle to work with, I could say, now the blue needle can go like this, or the red needle goes like this, instead of saying the working needle and the, I don't know what the other one is called, but like, you know, like I don't have to use words that are confusing, or like your right hand needle or your left hand needle, because to her, she still is getting used to right and left, and sometimes she gets confused. And so I really love that they're different colors, so that I could say the blue needle or the red needle. The other thing, oh, and these are little stitch marker or stitch stoppers, needle stoppers that I got from Buku. And yeah, this is how far she's at with her knitting. So I got these needles for her over a year ago, maybe like when she was 4, just turned 4. I got her needles because she started verbalizing to me that she wanted to knit. So I knit around her all the time, and she wanted to look at what I was doing. And even though I don't let her necessarily like do the projects with me, she's watching me knit all the time. She's watching me crochet all the time. Like, homegirl knows the difference between knitting and crochet. Like, that's, you know, she's got it. But she started expressing to me that she wanted to knit. And so I said, great. I got her some knitting needles, and I tried to tell her, these are tools, not toys. Right? So she wanted to like use them as like drumsticks or whatever. And I said, no, we're not doing that. These are tools. These are tools to knit with. They're not toys. And that helped her kind of categorize in her head. I mean, we're doing that with other items in the house anyway. So, you know, that kind of fell in line with helping her categorize what these knitting needles were for. I also had her pick the yarn. She picked this initially. I said, great. I cast on for her about 10 to 12 stitches. And initially what I had her do is I made it be like a more of a mommy and me time, or like a sensory type of thing, where I would have her sit on my lap. And initially I would show her visually what I'm doing. And then ask her if she wanted to try. So I started saying this phrase to her. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's like this little thing with knitting, like you stab them and then you strangle them, and then, you know, it gets a little bit violent, but I kind of love that. And so I used a variation of that. And then there's another one that's like in through the front, like around goes Jack, something, I don't know, but I don't know that one either. But I meshed some common things together. And what I tell her is in through the front, around the back, you scoop it out, and then off, right? And if you guys knit, you know what I'm talking about, right? You put the working needle in through the front loop, then around the back, and then you scoop it out, and then you take it off the needle. And so I just started saying that to her. I would chant it, like when she's on my lap and she's like, oh, I want to knit. Great, bring your knitting. Like, let's sit together. And I would show her in through the front, around the back, scoop it out, and off. And I'd ask her, do you want to try? And the first several times she didn't want to do it. She would try, and then she would get so frustrated because her little hands couldn't hold the 2 needles in the yarn at the same time. And she just got really frustrated. And she's like, oh, I don't want to. And I said, okay. And then I didn't push it. A couple weeks later, she'd be like, oh, I want to try knitting again. Great. Same thing. She would sit on my lap. I would show her in through the front, around the back, scoop it out, and off. And then I'd say, do you want to try? And then she'd try a little bit. And each time she was able to do any part of it, like in through the front, yeah, you got it. Like around that, yeah, that's right. You scoop it out. Oh, I can't do it. That's okay. You did the first 2 parts. Like, great, yay. You know, made it as exciting as possible for her. Like she was like getting it, right? Getting some parts of it. And then eventually, gosh, this is like months and months in the making, right? Where she would try it here and there. And I really didn't want her to associate knitting with like a bunch of frustration. I wanted it to feel fun for her. I wanted her to feel proud of any little bit that she was able to get. And I also had this vision of her, I don't know, as a teen or maybe even as a grown-up. Maybe she doesn't like it in her early years, and that's okay. But at some point in her life, I just had this vision of me and her sitting together and catching up on life and, you know, hanging out together with our knits or whatever. Like maybe one day she'll be on my podcast. Like, how amazing would that be? Okay, I need to back to the present. Anyway, so like, yeah, that's my vision. Like, that's what I want with her. And so if there's any chance of that, I didn't want to sabotage it by like getting impatient with her, getting frustrated with her, right? And so I had this like long-term goal in mind. And it has been like a year and a half of her, like in the year and a half, like this is what she's made and this is what she's made. Like this is the progress that she's made. But to me, I think that's so amazing because when she bound this off for the first, like for the week or two following, she was just so proud of this little square. Like she would use it to like have it as a blanket for her little dolls or her little toys. Like she has this in her room, on her little shelf where she has her little trinkets and jewelry. Like this is a part of that. And so, yeah, like she is now able to knit a full row by herself. Yes, there are mistakes. Yes, there are yarn overs. Yes, she, you know, loops the yarn in the opposite directions to where now she has twisted stitches that I fix, but she's so much more patient with herself. I see her being more kind to herself in the process, which makes me so happy. And so she'll do one round and she'll look at it and say, or one row and look at it and be like, wow, this one's like really loose. Like, is that a stitch? I'm not like, that's a really loose stitch. Like, can you fix it for me? I'm like, yes, of course. So then the next round I'll like reverse her stitches or I'll fix her loose stitches and she'll be like, oh, thank you. And she'll sit down again and work on her round or her row. And yeah, it's been so sweet. It's been so sweet. So in case any of you guys have little ones and are curious about how I was able to encourage her to knit, like what that process has looked like for me and her. Like, yes, she gets frustrated. Yes, she gets angry. Yes, I've gotten frustrated too, you know, like I think the way that I described it maybe sounds like it was all peaceful. It wasn't. But I think it was more peaceful than not. And maybe that was more important to know. Like there were more moments when we were excited together than there were moments when we were frustrated with each other and she was frustrated with herself. So I'm very hopeful. And I actually I had this idea recently, like maybe I can use her square to be the center point of another log cabin sweater. Like maybe I can ask for her permission to use this to make a sweater for her and have it be at the center. And then I'll work my way around this initial square that she's knit. And that way, when I have a finished sweater for her, I can tell her, hey, you started this sweater and you helped me knit the sweater. And I feel like that would be such a treasure. And that way we won't lose this, you know, like it's less likely that we're going to lose the very first finished object that Sam has ever made in her life with knitting. Anyway. But yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I know it's only been a week since I've updated you guys with my projects, but a lot's been going on creatively for me in this last week. So thanks for joining in again. I love the comments that you guys leave. Please subscribe, like, blah, 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 all the things, yada, yada, yada. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.